Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome you cordially here at our traditional meeting, which is organized on an annual basis within the framework of St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. There are a lot of people present here today who I've known for quite a long time. We've been meeting on a regular basis, discussing our joint plans. There are some colleagues here who've come here again. I would like to express hope that you will enjoy your stay here in St. Petersburg, in Russia, at the Economic Forum, that these meetings will be useful, meaningful, and that they will lay down the conditions for your business development in Russia. You know that the goals we set forth are quite ambitious and important in terms of our development. The form they take are the so-called national projects. These are, in essence, our plans which are substantiated with certain resources. And what is of no less importance, I believe they are corroborated with our policy, economic policy in particular. I would like to express modest hope that you will agree with me that this policy does render certain results. We create conditions for your active and effective work here. I mean those macroeconomic figures and indicators that we've been seeking recently, that is the budget deficit, the budget surplus, and the surplus of the current account of operations, the significant amount of international reserves. As for inflation, I would remind you that last year it stood at, for Russian economy, it was rather good, 4.3%. And Minister of Economic Development is nodding, therefore I'm not mistaken. Early this year it grew somehow, but right now that we see a downward trend. According to statistics, Russian Statistic Agency, from May 28th to June 3rd, the inflation stood at 1.01%. From the beginning of the year, 2.4%, and in annual terms, 50.08%. As I've already said, we are witnessing a downward trend, and there is a certain forecasted growth for us. We calculated it, and we believe this will be true due to the increased VAT. We've thought a lot what to do about the source for funding for the government's liabilities in terms of national projects that I've already mentioned. These are large-scale projects that have to do with infrastructure development, modern production, digitalization, healthcare development, education, and some other key areas which ought to ensure and will ensure high growth rate in every country of the world, as well as structural changes in the economy. We've decided to increase that. We understood that it will have a certain impact on the economic growth, on the inflation, but we believe that as soon as these projects will be implemented, as soon as the government invests into infrastructure and other areas that depend directly on the government, those spheres that would create conditions for your investments, that inflation will go down and the growth rate will go up. And this is what is the case right now. We see what we counted upon right now. From January to April, the federal budget surplus amounted to 683 billion rubles. As of April 1st, the trade balance surplus stood at $45.5 billion US, and international reserve reached almost 500 billion dollars. Last year, economic growth stood at 2.3%, which was the highest figure since 2012. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that we've overcome every difficulty and we are now on the road towards sustainable growth rate, increase of growth rate. We've set a goal for ourselves not just to become one of top 5 economies. There was a certain moment in time when we were number 5, but it's not the only goal for us. We want to ensure technological and geographical development of the country. In terms of key figures, we want to ensure better quality, better life quality for our people. And for this reason, we keep implementing the national projects and programs that I've already mentioned. The total amount of funding over the 6 years should amount to almost $400 billion. This is not just government allocations that also include private investments. We do welcome participation of foreign capitals in this project. We offer good cooperation mechanisms and conditions, and the working conditions in Russia are changing. This is mentioned both by independent experts, and I've already mentioned these figures today. According to Doing Business of World Bank, from 132nd rank, Russia went up to 31st. This is a significant progress, but we understand that this is not enough. Nevertheless, and we'll continue to work on this, and to make it noticeable, we've adopted a program to improve the business climate and environment and to support business in Russia and to attract investment, to raise investment in Russia. One of such tools, and we've got plenty of them, is the Russian Direct Investment Fund. We've built this structure in 2011, and over this time, together with partners, it invested more than 1.5 trillion rubles. These are projects that are implemented in almost all regions of Russia, and I would draw your attention to the fact that the investment yield exceeds main world indices. I don't know whether these are close numbers or not, but, well, I have this number. I just don't know whether I'm in position to mention it or not. It's about 15% annually on all projects in which the RDIF is involved. A number of companies and investment funds, together with RDIF, have already allocated funding for the development of healthcare, pharmaceutics, construction and reconstruction of important motorways. These projects have been calculated in detail. They're structured well, and the public will benefit greatly from them, as well as investors themselves. We're ready to broaden our cooperation in such areas as education, healthcare, transport, infrastructure, modern urban environment, improving efficiency and labor productivity. We also need considerable investment and experience and expertise of large-scale projects that you, dear colleagues, possess. And another much promising area for us, as I've already mentioned, is investment in introduction and development of digital and other technologies. That is the promotion of unique products. We see large scope for cooperation in this, and the markets are growing, as I must mention. Among RDIF projects in terms of digital economy, and a center of artificial intelligence is one of such projects with competitive and convenient conditions for researchers, scientists, and engineers. It should become one of the most important elements for our strategy in terms of artificial intelligence. I know that our Chinese friends are demonstrating interest in this. So that's what I wanted to share with you as my opening remarks. I would ask you to understand that, unfortunately, I don't have much time today. My colleagues are waiting for me and to participate in different events, so maybe we'll slightly change the format. Normally, I responded to all of your remarks immediately and to all your proposals. Maybe colleagues will have the floor first, speak out, and then I will try to generalize and speak on those issues that are of greatest interest for me. Mr. President, Your Excellency, dear colleagues, on behalf of all those present here, I would like to thank you for supporting the RDIF and the partners who are present here. Briefly, we would like to say that we see a growing interest in such meetings. We see here present investors that are managing capitals of $15 trillion. This is 1.5 trillion more than last year. Many of our partners are interested in investing into projects in Russia, and therefore we'll discuss it here today. I mean, specifically what project they would like to be involved. The RDIF is developing successfully. The profits of our companies have increased by 18% over last year, and many investors like this model, the RDIF model, that the state is not simply spending its money, is that there is a payback, and that we attract not just the funding and the money, but also expertise, and that will help our companies reach out to international markets. 7 other countries are now creating their funds based on the example and model of RDIF. I'll speak shortly about the cooperation with China. As you know, the Russian-Chinese Investment Fund has invested more than 30 projects. We've are cooperating actively with the funds in yuan, and we are building a fund with the People's Development Bank of China in the amount of 10 billion yuan. Another important area of our cooperation is our deal between Alibaba, Mail.ru, and Megaphone, building a Russian-Chinese innovative fund and the first venture investment of the Russian-Chinese Venture Fund. And in conclusion, I would like to say that investors are extremely interested in investing in international projects in Russia. At this forum, we will declare 10 new investments of RDIF. These are investments into such companies as Neftetrans Service, building meat production facilities and milk production facilities in Nalka, EV online cinema partnership with Norilsk Nickel to develop the Northern Sea route and modernize Baikonur, the so-called Gagarinsky launch. Investors confirm their interest in this and many other projects, and we'll hear today their experience, their expertise, and those projects that they're interested to participate in.